You're exhausted, but not in the way sleep can fix. It's the kind of exhaustion that comes from wearing a mask for too long. As an INFJ, you've spent so much of your life trying to appear fine, even when you weren't. You've smiled when you felt empty, agreed to things you didn't want to do, and carried the weight of keeping everyone else comfortable while silently drowning inside. And now you're tired of pretending you're okay. Tired of holding everything in so you don't upset anyone. Tired of being the strong one people lean on but rarely check in on. Because behind that calm exterior is a storm of emotions, thoughts, and unspoken struggles that no one seems to notice. And you're beginning to wonder if anyone ever truly will. You constantly feel pressure to seem okay, even when you're not. You've gotten so used to putting on a calm face that it feels automatic now. No matter what's going on inside, you tell everyone you're fine because it's easier than trying to explain. As an INFJ, you're hyper aware of how your emotions impact the people around you, so you downplay your struggles to keep the peace. You don't want to make anyone uncomfortable or seem like you can't handle things, so you force the smile, nod along, and pretend you're okay. But inside, you're anything but. And the hardest part is that no one notices the effort it takes to keep up that image. They assume you're strong and steady because that's all they ever see. But what they don't realize is how exhausting it is to constantly hide how much you're really hurting. It's a quiet kind of pressure that slowly wears you down, because the more you pretend, the more invisible your pain becomes. You're exhausted from always being the one who understands everyone else. You've built your life around understanding people, reading their emotions, and being there when they need you. As an INFJ, it comes naturally. You pick up on the subtle things others miss, and you feel what they're feeling almost as if it's your own. But the truth is, it's draining. You're always the listener, the supporter, the one who sees through the walls other people put up. And while you care deeply, the constant giving leaves little space for your own needs. You rarely get that same level of understanding in return. People assume you'll always be okay, always available, always strong enough to carry the emotional weight of the room. But you're tired of having to be the one who gets it, tired of holding space for others when no one thinks to do the same for you. It's not that you want to stop caring. You just wish someone would notice how much it costs you to be that person all the time. You've learned to hide your emotions because vulnerability feels unsafe. You've been hurt enough times to know that not everyone can be trusted with your emotions. As an INFJ, your feelings run deep, and when you've opened up in the past, you've often been met with misunderstanding, judgment, or even dismissal. Over time, you learn to keep those emotions locked inside because vulnerability started to feel dangerous. You don't want to risk being told you're overreacting or that you're too sensitive, so you stay quiet. You give vague answers when people ask how you're doing, and you keep your real struggles to yourself. It's not that you don't want to be seen, it's that you've learned it's safer to hide than to risk being hurt again. But every time you do, it adds to the weight you're carrying, because pretending you're fine doesn't make the pain disappear, it just makes you feel more alone with it. You second guess your needs because you're so used to putting others first. You've spent so much of your life taking care of everyone else that when it comes to your own needs, you hesitate. As an INFJ, you're naturally wired to put others first. You want to make sure everyone around you is okay, even at your own expense. But over time, that selflessness starts to chip away at you. When you finally do feel the need to speak up or ask for something, you second guess yourself. You wonder if you're being selfish, if you're asking for too much, if maybe your needs just don't matter as much as everyone else's. So more often than not, you stay quiet. You push your needs down and convince yourself you can handle it alone. But deep down, it hurts because you know you deserve the same care and attention you give so freely to everyone else. It just feels like you've forgotten how to ask for it without guilt. You crave deep, honest connection, but rarely feel truly seen. You want more than surface-level conversations and polite check-ins. As an INFJ, you crave the kind of connection where you can drop the mask and be fully yourself without fear of judgment. But that kind of connection feels rare. Most of the time, people only see the version of you you've carefully put together, the calm, understanding, dependable person who makes everything easier for them. Few people ever ask the questions that go deeper, and even fewer stay long enough to really listen. So you give pieces of yourself slowly, testing the waters, hoping someone will meet you at the depth you're offering, but too often you're left feeling unseen. It's not that you don't have people around you, it's that you long for someone who truly gets you, who can see past the smile and the quiet strength and recognize the complexity underneath. And until that happens, the loneliness lingers, even in a crowded room. You carry guilt for setting boundaries, even when you're overwhelmed. You know you need boundaries, but every time you try to set them, the guilt creeps in. As an INFJ, you're used to being available for everyone, always listening, always helping, always giving more of yourself than you really have. So when you finally say no, take a step back, or put your own needs first, it feels wrong. You worry you're letting people down or that they'll see you as selfish. But the truth is, you're just overwhelmed. You're drained from being the person everyone depends on, and you desperately need space to recharge. Yet, instead of feeling relieved when you create that space, you carry the weight of guilt, as if you're doing something wrong by taking care of yourself. And that guilt keeps you in the same cycle, overextending, burning out, and pretending you're fine. Deep down, you know you can't keep living like that, but it's hard to unlearn a lifetime of putting others first. You're tired of being praised for your strength when it's actually a survival mechanism. People often tell you how strong you are, how much they admire your ability to handle anything life throws at you. But what they don't see is that your strength isn't a choice. It's a survival mechanism. As an INFJ, you've learned to keep going no matter how much you're struggling because you feel like you have to. You hold yourself together because falling apart doesn't feel like an option. And while the praise might sound nice, it stings a little too. Because you're not strong because you want to be. You're strong because you've had no other choice. No one sees the nights you've cried in silence, or the times you've been completely overwhelmed but kept moving anyway. They only see the calm exterior you've perfected, and the more they praise you for it, the more you feel like you can never let your guard down, even though you're tired of carrying that weight alone. You long to be your real self, but fear being judged or misunderstood. You're so ready to just be yourself, to stop pretending, stop masking, and stop hiding the parts of you that feel too deep or too different. But as an INFJ, the fear of being judged or misunderstood keeps holding you back. You've opened up before and been met with blank stares, quick judgments, or people pulling away because they couldn't handle your depth. That pain stays with you. It makes you feel like the safest thing to do is keep those parts of yourself locked away. But the more you hide, the more disconnected you feel from others and from yourself. You want someone to look at you and truly see you without trying to change you, yet the fear of rejection is powerful and it makes you second guess if showing the real you is worth the risk. And that's the hardest part, wanting to be free but feeling trapped by the fear of what might happen if you are. If you're tired of pretending you're fine just to make life easier for everyone else, know this, you're not alone. You deserve to be seen for who you really are, not just the version of you that keeps the world comfortable. If this spoke to you, subscribe and come back when you need a place where your depth is understood. You don't have to keep carrying it all by yourself anymore.